Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves, once again, another 1v1 on Angoville. Our heroes today are, of course, still VindicareX, this time reprising his role as the Soviets in the blue. And his opponent, of course, is still HelpingHans, playing once again as the OKW forces in the red. So this is the 8th match, 1-1 on the 6th round of the Operation Charlie Fox tournament. So it's all for, you know, this is it. This is the game. Whoever wins advances, whoever gets the loss is eliminated from the tourney. So two big players. Should be one hell of a match. And we're probably in for a long one. So off the bat, we see VindicareX going for conscripts as he normally would. Nothing out of the ordinary. We have Volksgrenadiers on the field for HelpingHans. You know, again, nothing out of the ordinary. No Kuvul wagons just yet this time around. Last time we saw it and it didn't seem to do too much, but interesting. We see VindicareX wiring the house. Wiring the entrance to the house, making it very difficult for HelpingHans to pop in there and, well, deny him that fortified location. The combat engineers, though, do take quite a bit of punishment here to the Storm Pyos. The Storm Pyos move up, take some shots as they retreat, bring them down to very, very low amounts of health, but still 2 men remain alive. Far right-hand side, Conscript Squad going to be pushing forward. It will be running into that supply half-track. Supply half-track will take damage, will probably die if it doesn't move, but it's going to move because I don't think HelpingHans wants to lose that at this stage of the game. Left-hand side, conscripts moving around, capturing territory as they go for the fuel. Far left-hand side, we do have a Volksgrenadier squad capturing that munitions. And the conscripts up in the north get themselves inside the house, fortifying it, and fighting against another Volksgrenadier squad on the field. 4 Volks going to be popping out onto the field for HelpingHans. And we see... interesting choice. So it looks like HelpingHans deciding, well, you're going to deny it for me in this direction. Well, I'm going to deny it completely to you, and nobody's going to be getting in that house, and lays down a piece of wire here. Now, I'm not sure if that actually works, though. A lot of the times you can still click and go inside, but maybe it's going to make it difficult for them to get out, and they get caught. We've seen it before. We'll see if anybody tries to get in there later on. It all depends on the positioning and the angle. Volksgrenadier squad trying to defend against conscripts, but they're on the wrong side of that heavy cover, so they're actually going to take a lot of damage there. Surprisingly, though, they don't take that much damage. They take a little bit, but not too much. Storm Pyos do come up to close the distance and get behind that conscript squad, managing to force the retreat as the Volksgrenadier lose one of their members, but Vindicare not wanting to lose too much on the right-hand side. Conscript squad still up in the far north, denying this territory and being a little bit of the pain in the anus of HelpingHans, but he'll deal with it when the time comes. Volksgrenadiers on the far left-hand side going to get assaulted by 2 conscript squads. We do have another Volksgrenadier squad chasing down the conscripts. Not going to be able to do too much to them, at least, well, wasn't going to be able. Now the conscripts do position themselves into some heavy cover by the sandbag, and against the yellow cover there, the Volksgrenadiers will lose. Molotov does get tossed there by Vindicare on the Volksgrenadiers. The Volksgrenadiers do manage to dodge that successfully enough, and they are still going to be engaging at close range. Conscripts do win the engagement and force the retreat. Conscripts are getting flanked here by another Volksgrenadier squad, but the Volksgrenadier squad is now up close and personal with the conscripts, taking quite a bit of damage. The Volksgrenadier squad in the north retreating down to 3 men. The one that came for the flank down to 2 men, forced to retreat as well. And we still have 7 conscripts against the 3 remaining Volks, which forces the retreat as Vindicare wins the fight on the eastern side. Wait, western side. Haha. I know what left is. Conscripts up in the north popping out of the house, going to be decapping that strategic point. A nice idea, but it still does not, you know, disconnect anything. The strategic point over here on the left-hand side still connecting the territories on the right, so while it's nice and it does deny him a little bit of, you know, resources, it doesn't cut off anything. Storm Pyos getting themselves right on top of that conscript squad. Conscript squad going to fall very quickly if it doesn't retreat. It does retreat, and it still loses quite a bit, but down to 3 men and makes it out. Far north, conscript squad capturing the strategic point outside of HelpingHans base as the combat engineers get moved to the far left-hand side to capture. Conscripts back inside that house, denying that area, and out of the field we do see a Raketenwerfer coming for HelpingHans. And I've been told that that is exactly the correct pronunciation of that weapon. It is Raketenwerfer. You have to roll that R multiple times to get the the dialect accent right. Volksgrenadiers pushing in mass, really 2 mass, but you know, getting right on top of that house. Also not going to be taking too much damage here, as there's only 2 windows in this side of the house, meaning very, very low amounts of shots flying in the Volksgrenadiers' direction. Still, though, they're taking some damage. Incendiary grenade does fly into the house, getting some damage in there, but the conscripts pop out and end up retreating as the Volks clear up that area of the map. Far left-hand side, conscripts engaging against Volks. The Volks now have Shreks equipped, expecting some type of vehicle play, but we do see that nothing is coming out so far for VindicareX. Does select his Doctrine, and that is, of course, once again, the armored assault tactics, meaning he is, you know, aware of what's going on, and will have access to the IS-2 and, of course, the T-3485s. Right-hand side, conscript's going to be pushing to try to capture territory. We do have a Volksgrenadier squad holed up inside this house by the wall. The wall has been wired here by HelpingHans, as the Volksgrenadiers do capture more territory on the right-hand side. Volksgrenadiers set up. They're not able to capture the point. Far left-hand side, we hear the Warfare cloaking and moving out of the way. Conscripts getting right on top of that sandbag, get themselves incendiary-nated in the face, forced to retreat. Wow, oh my god, down to 1. Can he make it out? Looks like he's barely gonna make it out of there. Vindicare almost losing a squad, but manages to keep it on the field. Combat engineers back at base do build that tier 2. Tier 2 coming down with a Maxim machine gun, as Vindicare realizes there is quite a bit of infantry on the field. It is, you know, 4 Volks, but that Storm Pyro still adds on, and getting himself an MG will really help out of that. Volksgrenadier squad in front of the base, forced to retreat as conscripts and combat engineers push forward. But they're going to be fine. They're not going to really lose much. More sandbags getting laid down by HelpingHans on the left-hand side, as his sandbag that was placed was a bit of a casualty there. Collateral damage to the incendiary grenade he was forced to toss. Molotov being tossed in the way of the Storm Pyros. Storm Pyros losing one of their members, but the conscripts ura away through the open ground. They're going to take a little bit of extra damage here as they run into the house, but they manage to put themselves inside the house with 5 members left, managing to inflict damage on the Storm Pyros and forcing them to retreat. Back at base, we do have the battle group headquarters already down for HelpingHans, getting those heals going on the Volksgrenadiers, and we also see an infantry support gun once again getting purchased for Mr. HelpingHans. Pretty similar playstyles. I mean, like I said, no Kugelwagen this time, but, you know, nothing too far changed, you know, from the last game, I suppose. Conscripts on the right-hand side, forcing that Volksgren out. Combat engineers and the Maxim machine gun being brought in. And the conscripts over here on the north side getting forced to retreat as the... Ow. Was an ant biting my foot? What the hell? Sorry, as the infantry support gun shoots at the conscript squad, but, you know, they want to stay alive. We do have medics back at base for VindicareX, so it's nice that he has 5 men still on that squad. Quite a bit of saved manpower there, so it's all good. Maxim machine gun on the right-hand side, going to be setting up in the heavy cover of the sandbag as conscripts move up on the left-hand side. Running into 2 Volksgrenadier squads, nobody around for support. Oh, a nasty shot there by the infantry support gun gets them pinned down and gets a lot of damage in there. Second shot flies, but the conscripts already on the retreat managed to dodge that successfully. And the Maxim machine gun on the right-hand side going to be trying to hold with the sandbag against the infantry support gun, really. Left-hand side, we see mines getting laid down for HelpingHans. That should be a shoe mine. And behind it, the Raketen Warfare being utilized to cap as it captures territory. And Volksgrenadiers push up. Wire getting laid down on the other side of those debris of the glider. And we do have Soviet mines on the field for the VindicareX. Oh, nasty shot there by the Shrek. Nails a combat engineer, and the combat engineer squad goes down once again for VindicareX. We saw a similar situation on the last game as he was a bit careless with one of his combat engineers and it went down. Similarly to the Storm Pyros. Maxim machine gun trying to run out of there, but in the flames, all of the members get killed as they're trying to pick up the weapon. Another incendiary. Oh! Nasty shots. The second combat engineer squad goes down for VindicareX, and the Maxim machine gun has been lost as well. Conscript squad do manage to force away the Volksgrenadiers. Both squads down to 2 men. The infantry support gun doing quite a bit of work here. 4 kills so far, but just piling on the damage. Behind, we see a mine getting triggered here by a Jaeger Light Infantry Squad. Jaeger Light Infantry Squad down to 1 man. Can the conscripts pick up the unit on the retreat? Getting a lot of good hits there on it. Can he make it out? I don't think so. Nope. There goes the Jaeger Light Infantry, and down it goes on the field as HelpingHans, of course, selected his Doctrine, and that is the Scavenge Doctrine. Infantry support gun now on the wrong side of the battlefield, unsupported and getting chased down by 2 conscript squads. Should be able to make it out of there. It's pretty healthy, and it is going to be supported very quickly now by Volksgrenadiers. Even if it is lost right now, it's right outside the base. Highly unlikely that Vindicare could steal it, but he does manage to force it to back off. Volksgrenadiers pushing forward. Infantry support gun once again set up to be able to support. Gonna take some shots at the conscripts, but the conscripts are moving out of the way, and the infantry support gun really unable to get a target there, so it moves out of the way. Maxim machine gun has been recovered for VindicareX, so at least he recovered the weapon. Lost a little bit of the, you know, veterancy or experience, I suppose, because it wasn't really veteran. But the big blow there was the combat engineers. He is apparently forced to build both of them back, so he wants to have both. Left-hand side, conscript squads do go for the decap of the strategic point, making sure that all territories are currently cut off for Mr. HelpingHans. Right-hand side strategic point also capped, so nothing is being connected right now. All the resources on the left are currently cut off, so a nice little move there by VindicareX. Going to be recovered relatively quickly, so it's only a temporary disconnect. But, you know, every little bit can count, especially in a tournament setting. Right-hand side, Maxim machine gun going to be moved up to try to support against the approaching Volksgrenadiers. Conscripts popping inside the barn, making sure that they are unable to get quickly killed, although the infantry support gun will do damage to them inside the house. And they do pop out and are probably going to have to retreat. Molotov does get tossed into the house. No, cancels it as the last moment as the Volksgrenadier pop out of the house. Conscripts once again set up in the heavy cover. There goes the Molotov, lands in the house. Outside of the front door, one of the conscripts catches a blaze and dies in front of the house as the rest of them pop inside the the barn. Once again, Volksgrenadiers popping in the house. 2 Volksgrenadier squads moving across it from behind. Coming up on another conscript squad, we see more Jaeger light infantry getting called in. The Jaeger light infantry are on the far left-hand side. They pop inside the shack and are going to be supporting against the conscripts on the left-hand side going for the fuel. Right-hand side, we still hear the engagement as a conscript squad on the right-hand side was forced to retreat down to 3 men, and the other squad that was in front down to 2 as well, forced to retreat. Combat engineers popping into the barn to replace or relieve his previous troops. Mine almost getting killed here, but oh, the storm piles are going to run into it. Oh, nice hit there by the mine. Storm pile squad goes down for HelpingHans, and a very nice pickup there for VindicareX, as that is a goner. Jagdpanzer getting called onto the field. Once again, doesn't really have much that it can do right now. Will eventually, but for now it's a bit of a dead weight. Maxim machine gun on the right-hand side does force away the Volksgrenadiers, but they do have control at that victory point. Combat engineer squad popping out. They're going to go for the point themselves, as this shack is currently set ablaze, although it's really just smoking, not burning down. Volksgrenadiers in the north going for the combat engineers. Combat engineers retreating as conscripts are currently focusing against the Jaeger light infantry behind them. Volksgrenadiers coming up for a flank. Going to be getting some good shots there on the conscripts. The conscripts decide to reshift a little bit, but they're still being flanked here by the Volksgrenadiers completely, and the Volksgrenadiers are going to be able to deal with them as they are forced to move right in front of the Jaeger light infantry, and the Jaeger light infantry do the damage. More Jaeger light infantry on the field for HelpingHans, popping on the right-hand side. Maxim machine gun are going to be trying to stop them. They try to rush forward or sprint forward as they only get themselves pinned down. Maxim machine gun executing one of them, but they may get out of there as they retreat. We do have some combat engineers in the way, even another Maxim machine gun as well. So we have 2 Maxim machine guns on the field for VindicareX. And on the left-hand side, we see infantry pushing for Vindicare, trying to recover some territory on the left side of the map. We have Jaeger light infantry, Volksgrenadiers holding the line with a Jagdpanzer behind it to support. But again, Jagdpanzer doesn't really have much that it can do. Sure, it can shoot at the infantry, but it's very bad at hitting them, so it's probably not really going to do much, except make the battleground a little bit flashier as explosions go through the terrain. Maxim machine gun on the right-hand side, getting quickly flanked here by that Volksgrenadier squad. It was down to 3 men as it got recovered with only 3 men. Forced to retreat, so it will be coming back at full strength. Maxim machine gun in the center of the map, retreating down to 3 men. Volksgrenadier squad's in the way, going to be able to stop it, manages to kill one of the members, kills all of them, and is now wow, I said Digo. In prime spot there to take the Maxim machine gun. Maxim machine gun now stolen by HelpingHans, and he gets himself his own fancy MG. Conscripts over on the left-hand side seem to be doing something. What were they doing? Ooh, nice. Flared trip mine getting popped over on the left-hand side. More sandbags getting put on the fuel point on the left-hand side, almost making it fortified, essentially, as we see sandbag on sandbag. Volksgrenadiers, Maxim machine gun, and more Volksgrenadiers moving up on the conscripts. The conscripts do manage to finish the sandbags, going to reposition themselves on the other side. They could vault over and get themselves on the right side, but it looks like the controls were a little bit weird, as the one on the other side ended up vaulting over and not putting them in a correct position. Maxim machine gun does manage to put the suppression going on it, forcing the retreat of that conscript squad. And on the far left-hand side, we have another conscript squad down to 3 men, capturing some territory. Back at base, we do see Tier 3 and Tier 4 now down for VindicareX, just teching up. Looks like he's not really interested in Tier 3. Does, of course, require it if he wants to go for those C-3485s. Far right-hand side, Rocket and Warfare getting caught here by some conscripts. Not going to take too much damage. Maxim machine gun pushing forward, and we see the T-3485 getting built. Is it the 85? Yeah, it's the 85 for Mr. VindicareX. So now the Yak Panzer is actually going to have a purpose. Jaeger light infantry trying to chase down a conscript squad. Can they actually pick up the kill? No, they cannot. They could have potentially. Remember, Jaeger light infantry's G43 rifle has the insta-kill potential. That little rifle right there. So, I forget, what was it? 75 or something? Yeah, or 25? Something like that. If an entity is down, maybe just 50% health, something like that. I forget exactly the value. It was a while ago since it happened. But it has a chance of basically sniping it and killing it. Conscripts up in the north, engaging the Volksgrenadier squad. Volksgrenadier squad going for the house, but the combat engineer squads nearby deny them the location, and they are forced to retreat. Currently, HelpingHans pretty much controls the left-hand side of the map, as we do see the T-3485 and some conscripts pushing forward. The Yak Panzer is all the way back at base, so it's not really able to support, and the only thing here is a Maxim machine gun, so it's not really going to suffer too much. Volksgrenadiers also not really equipped to deal with the T-3485. They can equip Shreks, but only one of them has a Shrek so far, and we do see HelpingHans going for the Flak Panzer for Ostwind. Right-hand side, the Ostwind does force away the retreat of that conscript squad. We do have a combat engineer squad inside the house, Maxim machine gun inside this other house as well, and the Ostwind will be doing a lot of damage and quickly removing them from there. T-3485 moving over to the right-hand side, as we see the Yak Panzer moving up to support. Conscripts pushing forward against Jaeger light infantry, but they're going to get themselves killed if they don't retreat. Conscripts and more conscripts capturing on the left-hand side. Conscripts retreating, and the combat engineers inside that house still holding up pretty well. They are taking some damage, of course, to the Ostwind, but they managed to survive there. T-3485 moving over to the right-hand side, going to be trying to support against the Ostwind. T-3485 doing severe damage to the structures around it, as the driver is a bit inexperienced. We do see a... that should be Vindicare's... yeah, we do see a satchel charge laid down across the field here. Right in the open is an interesting point to do that. Combat engineer squad getting caught by the Ostwind. Can it get itself kill? It's going to try. T-3485 gets in the way, gets some good shots on the Ostwind, or a good shot, and forces it to retreat. Volksgrenadier squad trying to cross the open terrain. The Maxim machine gun managing to catch them out in the open, getting suppression on both of the squads. Can he get a pin down? Shots continue to fly as the T-3485 takes shots into the house. Going to be trying to collapse it here under its own weight. Shrek inside the Volksgrenadier squad is able to do a decent amount of damage here, but the house itself is very low in health. Ooh, a nice shot there flies by the T-3485, catching 2 of the members as they were inside the house, and the T-3485 decides, you know what, that house no longer serves me any good purpose. I probably should just collapse it and make sure that nobody can. Volksgrenadier squad retreats. Oh, a nice hit there by the satchel charge, and down goes another squad for HelpingHans. VindicareX picking up those kills left and right. Very, very nice. Over on the left-hand side, we see another engagement going as combat engineers and conscripts push forward. The shoe mine not yet tripped. Far left-hand side, a Jaeger light infantry capturing territory, as we see a Maxim machine gun getting cleared out. This is, of course, the stolen Maxim machine gun, as we see the Maxim machine gun that Vindicare still has on the field, so that's nice. Jaeger light infantry recovering that Maxim machine gun, as conscripts are going to take some shots at the retreating Jaeger light infantry. Can they pick up the kill on that guy? No, the Ostwind moves up into their face, getting some shots at them, although they are getting covered by the sandbag, but the Maxim machine gun behind them is getting suppression and will eventually get a pin down, so they need to get the hell out of the way. T-3485 moving up to support, gets some good shots on the Ostwind, but the Yak Panzer now in the face of the T-34. T-3485 moving out of the way, down to about half health. Shots continue to fly, but it makes it out of there. Conscript squad retreating from the left-hand side fuel point. Down to 3 men. It does make it out of there. Second conscript squad down to 4 men. Infantry support gun still getting some shots in there. Still trying to support. And the Jaeger light infantry... No, sorry, the Volksgrenadiers are able to push back. AT gun now on the field. Going to be trying to get some shots against the Jagdpanzer. The T-3485 loses its main gun. Keeps getting shot here. Getting caught by the infantry as it moves across the field. Jagdpanzer moving back. Does not manage to get a finishing blow there as the AT gun is getting some good shots on it. Bringing it down to about half health. And the infantry support gun is returning fire on the AT gun. Close call there for VindicareX. Almost losing his tank, but going to be able to repair it and bring it back to full action. VindicareX now to 12 command points. He needs 13. Oh, Schumann getting hit there by... looks like it was just one conscript, so it actually didn't do that much. Combat engineers on the right-hand side getting engaged by Jaegers and a Volksgrenadier squad. They're going to die if they don't get out of there. Conscript squad retreating from the left-hand side as we see one up in the far north going for the cutoff point, disconnecting the resources on the left-hand side for HelpingHans once again. Yeah, Vindicare close to the command points to be able to get in an IS-2, but he does not have the fuel for it, so we'll see if he decides to wait, considering that he did manage to save a T-3485. I'm assuming he's probably going to wait. If he had lost it, though, he would probably be forced to just build another T-3485 rather than waiting. But that was 42 is for him. Maxim machine gun over on the left-hand side, going to get engaged by the Soviet Maxim machine gun. They're going to teach them how to properly use that weapon as they designed it and know how to use it best. Jaeger light infantry retreating with the Maxim machine gun in tow. Managed to make it out of there. Oh, the infantry support gun getting a good hit there on the Maxim machine gun, getting it pinned down and actually denying them the ability to cap. Break suppression, and they are back on their feet. Back at base. Jagdpanzer still needs some support. Ostwind still moving around, now fully repaired. Storm piles are the only ones in line there for repair. We do see a mechanized regiment headquarters now on the field for the HelpingHans that will help with the automated repairs. And on the right-hand side, the T-3485 is going to be moving forward. And potentially running over this Volksgrenadier squad. Oh, they hit retreat, and they managed to make it out of there. Rakuten Warfare does move up, gets a good shot there on the T-3485. T-3485 will be forced to move out of there. Second shot might fly. No, we also had an AT mine right there. Oh, is he going to go? He's going to go. Sorry, T-35, sorry. On the field, thermal big attack, getting called in right on top of the Ostwind. Gets some good hits on the infantry, forcing the retreat of the Rakuten Warfare. But the Ostwind backs off and does not hit the mine. It's not a bad thing that it didn't hit it, considering that there was probably no follow-up for Vindicare. He does have his T-3485 there, but that's about it. And the plane crashes into the victory point here for VindicareX. Jagdpanzer taking some shots through the hedge, trying to hit that T-3485. T-3485 moving back, getting some return fire on the infantry. Storm piles engaging the conscripts. Conscripts now getting veteran C3, but they do get ripped apart and forced to retreat. But Vindicare holding strong and has most of the map. Victory points are 434 for Vindicare, while it is down to 252 for HelpingHans. So Vindicare leading there pretty effectively, almost 200 points now. Mines getting hit here by the Jaeger light infantry, down to 1 man on that squad. Going to keep it on the field. Behind it, we do still have that mine that didn't get tripped. T-3485 trying to support. 230 fuel acquired, and IS-2 gets called into the field for HelpingHans. He now is in a position where he could potentially push back, although there's still quite a bit on the field for Mr. HelpingHans. It's not an easy endeavor to do that. Combat engineer squad retreating. The IS-2 now moving up to support. Conscripts getting healed up and reinforced. Far left-hand side, a conscript squad forced to retreat to a incendiary grenade from this Volksgrenadier squad. But the conscripts, or second conscript squad, is nearby to support. IS-2 pops across the hedge. Gonna get a good shot there on that Volksgrenadier squad. Oh, nasty hit. Down to 2 men on that Volksgrenadier squad. And it barely makes it out of there. So the IS-2 comes out swinging, getting some good hits in there. The Jagdpanzer has been damaged a little bit. T-3485 is nearby to support. Volksgrenadiers with Trex are also nearby, so that's a little bit of a threat. We see that the wire has gotten crushed here on the left-hand side house. Maxim machine gun able to pop itself inside and deny those Volksgrenadiers their ability to pursue and fight. Getting them suppressed, gonna get them pinned down if they don't move out of the way. Conscript squad out in the open, getting good shots in there. But we do have a Maxim machine gun still on the hands of Helping Hands, trying to provide some support as the conscripts crawl out of the way. AT gun moving up. We do see that the mine got hit here on the northern side. Got hit by the Ostwind as it is currently damaged. And the IS-2 moves up over to the right-hand side, getting a hit there on the Jaeger Light Infantry. Jagdpanzer trying to return fire and get some good hits in there, but, I mean, it only gets one shot in. It's a good hit, though. It managed to do quite a bit of penetration and damage. Far left-hand side, we see conscripts and Volksgrenadiers engaging. The Volks only have a Shrek, so unless the incendiary grenade hits effectively, it's going to get itself killed. Conscripts on the right-hand side getting pinned down as they're trying to capture the point, as the infantry support gun is just doing a lot of work. 14 kills so far. Veterancy to acquire. I mean, it's doing quite a bit of work. AT gun now, you know, considerably damaged. Needs to either go back and reinforce or just stay there and hope it doesn't die. Conscripts on the left-hand side do force away the Volksgrenadiers. We see the T-3485 getting popped on its secure mode. Going to be capturing that victory point by itself as the conscripts push forward. Going to get on top of the Raketenwerfer, and the Raketenwerfer will be forced to move. Nasty shot on that Volksgrenadier squad, getting two good hits in there, and the IS-2 just sits there. Oh, second shot flies, two more hits, down to one man on that Volksgrenadier squad, and we see all the Volks now for Helping Hands equipped with Panzer Shreks. Jagdpanzer moving up, trying to get some hits on the IS-2. The IS-2 has been fully repaired. Shot flies, does not get a good penetration, and it just bounces off. Combat engineers are nearby. Second shot flies from the Jagdpanzer and misses the IS-2. Jaeger Light Infantry moving up, gonna get shot in front, but no, it actually misses completely on those Jaeger Light Infantry. Once again, the Jagdpanzer taking some shots through the hedge, getting some hits there on the IS-2, but the IS-2 not taking too much damage. Up from the front, the Raketenwerfer taking some more shots. IS-2 now damaged considerably. The T-3485 on the left-hand side has captured the victory point. Runs on top of its own mines, as we see more mines getting laid down for VindicareX all over the place. Remember, mines win games, so it is a very good habit to lay mines. And more to the point, Helping Hands doesn't have a sweeper, so mines significantly effective here. Also been getting some shots into the Maxim machine gun inside that house, then backs off a little bit as the T-3485 came up close to it and was potentially in range to shoot. Combat engineer squads do need to get a little bit of help going on that IS-2. The IS-2 has taken some damage. Still alive, though. Combat engineer squad on the left-hand side going to be stopping Volksgrenadiers from capping, as we have the Raketenwerfer and more Volks and Jaegers moving over to cap on the far left-hand side. Combat engineer squad with its flamethrower caught out in the open by those Volksgrens. The Volksgrens are not really going to suffer too much. It's a veteran C4 Volksgren squad and does force a retreat. IS-2 on the right-hand side, still damaged at about 75% strength, whereas that other combat engineer squad is currently retreating from the right-hand side, so it'll take a while before anybody else moves up. T-3485 on the left-hand side going to be harassing these Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers getting popped on their veterancy. Veterancy 5 now acquired. And on the far left-hand side, conscripts going for the Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers do get Molotoved, but they manage to essentially shrug that off. We do have that mine right there, potentially dangerous as there are Shreks on the field. Could accidentally detonate it under T-3485 and get it easily killed. T-3485 down to about 40% strength, needs to get the hell out of the way. Conscripts also retreat from the left-hand side, as Helping Hands will be recovering territory. But he has been brought down to 208 points. Right-hand side, we see the AT gun pushing forward as the IS-2 is behind it. Shots flying from the AT gun, getting some good hits on that Ostwind. Conscripts managing to decap the point, or the strategic point on the far north. Gonna get shot by the Ostwind, but they managed to make it out of there themselves. More conscripts moving over to the left-hand side as the AT gun gets brought up to capture that strategic point. Sorry, victory point. And the combat engineers are now going to be moving up and repairing on the field that IS-2. Left-hand side, another combat engineer squad repairing that T-3485 as it took quite a beating. And we see another T-3485 getting built for VindicareX as he still has his IS-2 on the field. And of course, he can only build one. Combat Engineers going to be moving up, trying to fend off against those Shrek-equipped Volksgrenadiers. They managed to do so. The AT gun now going to be in harm's way here as the Jaeger Light Infantry are nearby. The Combat Engineers are going to be moving up to engage those Jaeger Light Infantry. IS-2 going to be adding a little bit of support there on that engagement. Takes a shot. Oh, well, good hit there. Kills one. Combat Engineers with their flamethrowers managing to inflict damage and force a retreat. Down goes another of those Jaeger Light Infantry, and the IS-2 still sits there. Far left-hand side, those Combat Engineers have finished the repairs of that T-3485. Conscripts moving over to the left-hand side, as there's really nothing holding this left-hand side victory point. Infantry support gun still around. 21 kills so far. Doing pretty good, actually. Conscripts moving up to try to support. Combat Engineers still repairing. Down to 3 men on that squad. It'll take them, a little bit longer to repair. But any type of repair is more than nothing, right? Conscripts moving up. They do not have access to anti-tank grenades, so the Oswind doesn't really have much to worry about. We do see a Sturmovik attack getting called in right on top of that Oswind. Everything going to be backing off. Conscripts retreating through the way. There goes the barrage, but it goes right on top of the infantry support gun. Doesn't really do much to it. IS-2 managing to stop the oncoming Volksgrenadiers. Gets a second shot off on them and bring it down to 2 men. AT gun managing to whiff, essentially, against that Jagdpanzer. And the IS-2 just sits there and takes the damage because it's an IS-2. T-3485 is moving in conjunction over to the left-hand side. Conscripts also supporting. We do have that Storm Pilot squad retreating as the Rocket and Warfare sits there. And we do have a Puma on the field for HelpingHans as he wants to potentially get some additional damage in there with the Puma. It's a little bit too light for my taste, but we do have Rocket and Warfare in the way. Rocket and Warfare and Puma able to do quite a bit of damage here to the T-3485s. Rocket and Warfare getting cleared out by the lead T-3485. Conscripts go for the steal, and they're going to instantly retreat. T-3485 moving all the way up to the front of the base. Going to try and get some hits on the Puma, but the Jagdpanzer has turned itself around, getting some good shots on the T-3485, and the Rocket and Warfare on the left, managing to finish off the too bold, too brave, too ballsy T-3485. So Vindicare losing one of his tanks, but he does gain a Rocket and Warfare of his own, so, that's nice. Does have, of course, 2 AT guns on the field, so doesn't exactly need it. We see an AT grenade does go off by these conscripts on top of that Jagdpanzer, managing to inflict a critical on the engine. It's just a standard engine damage, so nothing too severe. Still, though, it's a good hit. IS-2 moving back over on the left-hand side. It looks like VindicareX is going to be conceding some territory for now. We see the Combat Engineers moving up, going to get some repairs going on that IS-2 if it stops spinning. And it does. And we see Combat Engineers on the left-hand side laying down some more mines all over the place, making sure that everything gets hit. Because it looked to me like something over here got hit by a mine, but it looked a little bit weird. Didn't take enough damage, so maybe it wasn't a mine. T-3485 on the left-hand side trying to stop these Volksgrenadiers. They're just capturing random strategic points. Conscripts going to get themselves on top of them, and they'll do a decent amount of job. Conscripts on the right-hand side going forward to capture some territory as we have an AT gun guarding the choke here. Left-hand side, T-3485 moves up. The Jagdpanzer going to get right on top of it. Jagdpanzer may be able to take it off completely here. We do have the Rocket and Warfares nearby and the Shreks. But the T-3485 moves out of the way, manages to avoid one shot. It is now going to move away. Combat Engineers are in the way, but second shot flies there by the Jagdpanzer, nailing the T-3485. It moves itself to the edge of the map, but it's going to get itself killed. Out of control it goes, and down goes the second T-3485 for VindicareX. Falling a little bit apart here. IS-2 moving up to try to support. Going to get some good shots there on that Jagdpanzer, but with a Rocket and Warfare and a Puma, that might be a little bit too much for the IS-2. The IS-2 is pushing forward. Is he going to go? Well, gets the cloak going off on the Jagdpanzer. The Jagdpanzer managing to get a good shot penetration there on the front of the IS-2 as he actually breaks the cloak. Goes for the shot on the Rocket and Warfare. Rocket and Warfare gets cleared out. The Puma bringing its gun up and getting some good shots on the IS-2, forcing it to kind of back away. The smoke did get popped. AT gun does take a shot, but it looks like it just went through the Jagdpanzer as it stays alive and cloaked. It's a phase shield, so shots go through him. And the Combat Engineers moving up, gonna run into that Puma, and then run themselves into a mine and get themselves down to 1 man and almost peeled off. Can they make it out of there? I think they can. Also, when moving up, going to be trying to catch some units on the retreat, but doesn't really manage to do too much. Only get itself shot by the IS-2. Puma moving up. IS-2 returning fire. Puma gets nailed in the front, and the Puma now has to, back off a little bit. Combat Engineer Squad does manage to make it out of there, but just barely. But HelpingHans pushes aggressively on the left-hand side and scores himself a very nice victory. Very nice engagement won here. So it's quite about here. It's, jeez. It's a slugfest all over the place. We did see the Maxim Machine Gun die. We still have a Maxim Machine Gun for HelpingHans, but I don't know where the other one died. Maybe it just died inside the house. Looks like. Yeah, Maxim Machine Gun is dead there inside the house. How it died, I don't know. It doesn't exactly matter. I mean, I guess I can... It doesn't actually matter too much. Fine, whatever. It doesn't hurt. Maxim. I'll write it down, and you'll see when it actually died. There we go. I'm sure I've lost or missed their stuff anyways. So, VindicareX deciding against the T-3045 this time around. He's going to go for an SU-85. He wants more anti-tank potential as he hasn't been able to take down any of the vehicles that currently HelpingHans is fielding. One of the AT guns, both of the AT guns actually getting cleared out for VindicareX. I don't even know where they are. One of them is right here. The other one, I think, maybe on the left-hand side, as we see some engagements going on. Combat Engineer Squad getting eliminated here. And we see some supplies getting dropped onto the field there by Mr. HelpingHans, I believe, is the one that can drop it. So... 436. There we go. Sorry, just trying to make sure that I can spot everything that happens. Left-hand side, we hear the Ostwind taking some shots. The Rakuten Warfare has been left on the field. Second Rakuten Warfare, or stolen Rakuten Warfare, moving up and getting some shots flying at that Ostwind. The Ostwind forced to back off. We do have two Ostwinds on the field now for HelpingHans as he wants to be able to deal with all that infantry. But, I mean, SU-85 is on station, and the SU-85 can do a lot of punishment here. Jaeger Light Infantry moving up, trying to get those Rakuten Warfares. The Rakuten Warfare does get stolen and is currently hit in retreat. Conscript Squad also retreating down to 2 men. Veteran C3 Squad don't really want to lose that. Incendiary Grenade does get tossed here on the retreating path of one of the Rakuten Warfares. Rakuten Warfare does get brought up a little bit further up. Oh, there's the AT gun as it is getting currently salvaged by HelpingHans. He doesn't want it, so he's just simply going to get money out of it. And the Rakuten Warfare did get dropped, so it's still there. One of the AT guns did get stolen by... HelpingHans, so, you know, he at least wanted one. Did these guys actually pick this up? No, it doesn't look like. And on the left-hand side, conscripts are pushing forward, but there's too many infantry here for them to deal with. We see HelpingHans. Yeah, he's just simply going to salvage everything because look at his population cap, 99 out of 100. He actually really can't do anything. He can't even reinforce the Jaeger Light Infantry squads over here because it cost him two population cap to reinforce 1 man. So yeah, I mean, he's really in a position where he can't actually afford to get those weapons. So now he's just simply going to be getting all those resources, salvaging everything on the field, and forcing VindicareX to produce his anti-tank if he wants to. Still, though, VindicareX has a decent amount of anti-tank in the form of 1 Rakuten Warfare and an SU-85 with the support of an IS-2, so it's nothing to be ashamed of. You know, it's not too shabby. Left-hand side, Maxim Machine Gun does get produced. It's a brand new Maxim Machine Gun. The Volksgrenadier Squad on the left-hand side going to get engaged here by those Maxim Machine Guns. Victory points are 372 for VindicareX, while HelpingHans has been bled all the way down to 81 points. Could potentially cost him the game considering how low he is, but for now, manages to stabilize and capture 2 of the points. Maxim Machine Gun does break those Volksgrenadiers on the left-hand side with the support of the IS-2. We do still have an Ostwind nearby for support, but with the SU-85 behind it, getting ready for support, you know, it's going to be difficult to dislodge it. Right-hand side, we see conscripts pushing forward, conscripts getting inside the house. Rakuten Warfare being moved up in this direction, making sure that if any vehicles move up, at least he has something. And conscripts going all the way up to the north to that victory point, starting to put that pressure once again onto HelpingHans. Left-hand side, that Maxim Machine Gun does manage to decap that point as the stolen Maxim Machine Gun comes up on top of them. The IS-2 gets brought up. The Maxim Machine Gun instantly retreats as it's going to get itself killed, and the IS-2 doesn't even bother shooting. Conscripts pushing up, they're going to get themselves in front of that Ostwind, forcing it to retreat. Conscripts on the right-hand side, once again, Ostwind in their face, going to be retreating, but manages to cap 2 points and decap that northern point, so that's another 2 points of bleed per tick. So Vindicare brings HelpingHans down to 70 points. He's going to be recovering in a little bit, but not before he ticks, I believe, 2 more times. Yeah, down to 66, and even then he's only going to be slowing the tick to 1 point per tick. So yeah, Vindicare could potentially take this game by victory points. It is the way of things and a complete possibility. Demolition charge right on top of those Jaeger light infantry. Could be blown, but this guy's a little bit too far away. I don't think they splash. Oh, they're right on top. Ah, he doesn't notice it, and they could have potentially killed them off. So VindicareX is going to be pushing over on the right-hand side, going to be seeing if he can actually force those Jaeger light infantry to move out of the way. And on top of that demo charge, shots flying from the conscripts. Does have the Ostwind behind it for support. Boom! There goes a demo charge, and down goes the Jaeger light infantry. Vindicare picking up another nice kill there. Combat Engineers getting popped with sweepers. He realizes that HelpingHans is also playing the mine game and doing quite a bit of punishment, quite a bit of damage there. And we see these shoe mines getting laid down across the field there for HelpingHans, so he wisely gets himself a sweeper. Right hand side, the Yak Panzer and the stolen AT gun getting some barrage going into the victory point. Ostwind's moving up, gonna running into all that infantry. Su-85 is on station, can get some good shots flying, but manages to just miss that that Ostwind. Rocket and Warfare currently not looking at that Ostwind. Conscript squad taking some fire damage, and of course the Ostwind hits. Su-85 taking some shots at the Ostwind. The Ostwind takes some damage, but it's quite alright. Su-85 moving across through the center. Can potentially get a shot on those Storm Piles. Storm Piles just sitting there, taking some shots freely, not getting assaulted. And on the right-hand side, we hear a big engagement as Jaeger light infantry are getting themselves right behind everything. Rocket and Warfare getting assaulted here by the Jaeger light infantry from behind, going right on top of that stolen AT gun. And the Rocket and Warfare can get a good side shot here on that Yak Panzer. Yak Panzer down to about 25% strength. Maxim machine gun trying to hold the line, and that Rocket and Warfare can potentially take out. Oh, there goes the Yak Panzer for HelpingHans as it just leaves it sitting there in front of an AT gun. Not exactly the best of choices, but it does manage to take out that Su-85. Su-85 goes down, and the Ostwinds are now moving up and kind of reigning supreme. Rocket and Warfare managing to keep itself alive. Now gets cleared out finally, but the IS-2 is still on station. One of the Ostwinds will be going down here for HelpingHans as the IS-2 slowly but steadily turns its gun. Oh, it takes a shot and it misses. The Ostwind is crippled here with the engine, very slow. So the IS-2 could, and there it goes, should easily take it out. Rocket and Warfare getting cleared off once again as it tries to get recovered there by VindicareX, but he basically needlessly loses a little bit of manpower there. Conscripts right on top of that Bulk Grenadier squad trying to take it out completely before it tries to capture the point. There goes a shot assisted by the IS-2. Eliminates the Bulk Grenadier squad veterans U3, but the conscripts end up losing and giving their lives for that objective. Puma still around. The IS-2 has gotten itself cornered into the edge of the map. Getting shot here by the Puma and Volksgrenadiers. We see conscripts and Maxim machine guns moving forward. AT grenade does go off there on the Puma. The Puma now crippled with its engine, severely slowed. Shreks flying from that Volksgrenadier squad. Shots flying from the IS-2, not managing to do too much. Conscript squad down to 2 men, forced to retreat. Combat Engineer squad gonna get itself killed if it just stays in there. Manages to hit retreat. Can it make it out of there? It looks like it may be able to, but the Puma is a little bit of a threat here to the IS-2. The IS-2 still taking quite a bit of damage. The Volksgrenadiers are right in front of it, able to throw Shreks if they wanted to. As the Puma, takes a shot at the IS-2, and the IS-2 goes down for VindicareX. Is this it? Did VindicareX lose the game at this point? Well, he's very close to being able to call in another IS-2, so if he can hang on, it might be it. HelpingHans brought down to 21 points, very close to death, but manages to cripple VindicareX's army as he pretty much slaughters everything. Does manage to keep one of his Ostwinds alive, one of his Pumas alive, and still has Rocket and Warfare on the field to deal with anything. But we see VindicareX not wanting to wait for the fuel, going to be building himself a T-34-85 instead. Needs to have something on the field right away. It's an interesting choice. I suppose manpower was also prohibitive, considering he needs 640. Whereas this guy only needs 380, so, you know. At this stage, he probably could have called it in, though, so I'm not entirely sure I agree with going for the T-3485. Combat Engineer Squad retreating. Conscripts and Maxim Machine Gun going to be pushing forward. The Maxim Machine Gun for Helping Hands got killed at some point somewhere. It is too much to follow and see. Conscript Squad hitting one of the shoe mines. Only one of their members died, but he runs across the edge of the map, the backside, trying to go for something. Raketenwerfer sitting there trying to take the Ostwind and the Puma. The Ostwind gets a good shot there by the T-3485, disabling its weapon, making sure that the conscripts can quickly deal with all the infantry. The T-3485 has lost the drive of his turret, but it's still kind of looking at the Puma. Oh, gets his main gun destroyed. This could be deadly here to VindicareX. Does go for that victory point on the north side, so could potentially bleed the points again and maybe sneak the win, but oh my god, that is a very, very bad spot for him to be in. T-3485 trying to move out of the way. Conscript Squad getting caught here by the storm pile is going to be there goes for the ram. Oh, gets the nice hit. Down goes the Puma. A brilliant move there for VindicareX, deciding, you know what, if you're going to kill my tank, I'm going to take out your car as well, and none of us are going to have anything anymore. Brilliant. That was a great, great move. Has enough for another T-3485, and he decides instead that he's going to be, he's going to be building himself a T-70. Wow. This late in the game, 46 minutes in, we're going to be back-teching and going for a T-70 that can legitimately deal with all these guys. Maxim Machine Gun does get recovered here by Helping Hands, as he knows or expects that, well, no vehicles are really going to be coming into play, so I'm just going to go ahead and recover fuel. We see a strafing run getting called in right on top of those Maxim Machine Gun and the Volksgrenadiers. Shots fly, not actually hitting anything as it impacts the house in front of it. And the Maxim Machine Gun sits still. The Raketenwerfers are still sitting there on the field. They were trying to get salvaged, but Helping Hands was not allowed to do so as the conscripts move forward, get themselves suppressed. T-70 now on the field. We do still have Shreks equipped on one of the Volksgrenadier squads as they're trying to capture that, salvage that Raketenwerfer. Conscript squad's moving forward with its own Maxim Machine Guns in tow. T-70 now on the field. Oh! And a nasty shot there flies from the infantry support gun, nailing the T-70. The T-70 takes a nasty hit there. Shrek going to be flying in this direction, down to about 50% strength, a little bit less, forcing the T-70 back off. But it's still something of a threat there on the field. So one of the Raketenwerfers did get salvaged. Helping Hands doesn't really have much in the way of fuel, but he does call in another Ostwind. And Ostwind is an excellent choice considering that VindicareX decided to go for the T-70. Can really easily kill it. Maxim Machine Gun and conscripts pushing over on the right-hand side. The Ostwind now back in front of the... Stop peeing my dudes. I'm assuming pinging my dudes. Yeah, he's a... Maxim Machine Gun is doing a lot of work against them, I suppose. Victory points down to 21 for Helping Hands. VindicareX does hold 320 points, so considering he's only bleeding 1 point per tick, he actually does have a lot of time to recover and reestablish control. The Raketenwerfer has been recovered here by Helping Hands. It's, you know, an excellent and wise choice. Oh, that infantry support gun down to 2 men back here. Very low in health. Veterancy 5 acquired. I mean, what does it get? Weapon range at 1. Mobility and ability to avoid incoming fire, so defensive buff at 2. Barrage range and faster reload for more barrages, so reduces the cooldown. Double shots fired per salvo, that's very nice. So more penetration. There you go. So at Veterancy 5, that's why it was able to do a lot of damage to that T-70. It looked like too much damage in my opinion, but it is a Veterancy 5 infantry support gun, so you don't see that often, I don't think. Stone Pile is getting caught in the center by the conscripts as they're moving over to the left-hand side. We see another conscript squad going for a flanking maneuver, going to be trying to go for the victory point on the back side. We see the infantry support gun moving back to intercept, essentially. Conscript's going to be running into the Storm Piles. The Storm Piles will win the engagement at the close range. Ostwind being moved back to try to support. And we see conscripts getting right on top of that. Oh, nasty mine hit there for that conscript squad, down to 1 man. Behind it, we see combat engineers with their flamethrowers and the T-70 getting brought in. Right behind it, we do have that Raketenwerfer and the Shrek equipped Volksgrenadier squad. Maxim machine gun pushing forward as the conscripts manage to get themselves right on top of that victory point. Volks Grenadier Squad down to 1 man. Does throw an incendiary grenade right on top of those conscripts, trying to pull them out of the victory point. But they manage to crawl out of the way. The Maxim machine gun is doing its job, getting the suppression going, but the victory point, oh, it does not get decapped. Hits retreat a little bit too early for the point, but maybe just in time for the squad not to get itself killed. So Vindicare unable to, you know, stop the bleed in his direction. Would have been able to bleed Helping Hands, but he would have been able to at least, you know, turn it around a little bit. Fuel-wise, we do have enough fuel for another T-34-85 if VindicareX was so inclined. Helping Hands, however, doesn't really have that much fuel. Oh, the shoe mine gets a critical hit on that T-70. T-70 gets heavy engine damage, and it's going to get itself killed, although the Flak Panzer, the Ostwind, not going to be moving, not going to be falling for that bait, it looks like, as he, them crits, says VindicareX. Shrek-equipped Volks Grenadier Squad going to be able to clear off the T-70, and oof, that puts VindicareX in a very, very awkward situation. Conscripts pushing forward all together, running themselves into the line of sight of... No, the Maxim machine gun is not there. No, it's the infantry support gun, the one that is doing the suppression job here. Storm Pioneer Squad does end up getting itself down to 2 men, forced to retreat. Center, or, well, not center. Right-hand side victory point, southern victory point, gets cleared off as the conscripts get themselves on top of it, making sure that nobody can cap it. But that doesn't really do too much. It just stops the bleed. Buying both players a little bit more time, but it's not actually going to do too much. Oof, AT gun getting chased down here by a crippled Ostwind. Can it put itself in a position where it can get a shot off? Well, it's actually kind of in range now. Loses one of its members, forced to pack up and reposition itself. Combat Engineer Squad retreating. Will the Ostwind focus it down and try to get it killed? Well, the AT gun is in range for reinforcing. Takes a shot. Ostwind getting some nasty hits in there, well, on it. And the AT gun is going to reposition itself to try and get the Ostwind killed. Ostwind going to be moving out. There goes a shot, down to a sliver of health. Conscripts are nearby. AT grenade can go off, will go off, and down goes the Ostwind. And that allows VindicareX a little bit more time. Whew. 21 points still held for Helping Hands. The victory point on the right-hand side is getting recapped by Helping Hands as the Maxim machine gun moves up. Trying to fight here, but it's just getting itself annihilated there by that infantry support gun. Infantry support gun very low in health. Would behoove VindicareX to deal with that weapon at least. If Helping Hands recovers it, at least it removes the veterancy, which is making it all that more deadly. Raketen Warfare getting surrounded here by too many conscripts. Gonna get itself killed. And potentially give VindicareX a Raketen Warfare of his own. But VindicareX, having broken that Ostwind, basically put himself in a great spot. Raketen Warfare does get cleared out here. The remaining man is gonna be killed off, and it does get killed off. Ostwind once again getting right on top of that AT gun. The AT gun is not now not in position to be able to deal with it, but an AT grenade does go off on the Ostwind, managing or forcing it to crawl at a snail's pace. Is able to get some good shots there on the rear of the AT gun, so it's actually not getting the benefit of the armor. So the Ostwind is able to clear it out. More AT grenades do fly. The conscript sitting there in the victory point, trying to cap it. The Ostwind could potentially clear them off, although, oh, the Jaeger Light Infantry going to get themselves... No, they don't get themselves in the point. They get themselves in the edge, and that actually allows Vindicare to capture the point, and that is going to put the bleed once again in the direction of Helping Hands. Conscript's going to be sitting in the point, trying to hold as much as they can. Maxim machine gun does go down. Jaeger Light Infantry going to be getting cleared out here by the conscripts. No, conscripts will get themselves cleared out here by the Ostwind, and it forces the retreat of the Jaeger Light Infantry, and that puts Helping Hands still bleeding. He is still bleeding. Oh my god, is he going to lose it here? Maxim machine guns pushing forward. The Ostwind is not in good shape. We now have a T-34-85 on the field for VindicareX. He's going to go for the kill on that Ostwind. There's nothing that Helping Hands can do to prevent that. He does have a Shrek equipped on one of the Volks Grenadier squads, but not even there. T-30-45 moves up, gets a good shot. There goes the Ostwind. The Ostwind to a sliver of health manages to clear out a Maxim machine gun. No, oh yeah, it does. But down goes the Ostwind, and the T-30-45 is now just sitting in front of 2 infantry squads, which can't really do anything against it. Jaeger Light Infantry trying to crawl their way to victory, managing to decap the point down to 7 points for Helping Hands. He knows he is... Oh my god, he is about to get himself knocked out of the tournament. Jaeger Light Infantry still dancing around the point, getting himself suppressed, managing to recapture the point, or decap it. Oh my god, VindicareX decapped the northern point down to 2 points. Can he cap the point? No, he can't cap the point. 2 points left. One more tick. Oh my god, VindicareX takes the win for the Game 3. Ace Game gets itself into the next round of the tournament, and HelpingHans gets eliminated by victory points. Wow, that was a hell of a match and a long match, 54 minutes in. Holy. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the game as much as I did. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.